Yo, what is going on, you guys? So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 best sports card investments under $10 that I believe have $100 potential. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. All right, guys, so the first player that is on our list is none other than Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns, his market has been very, very soft as of recent. His market, of course, since being on the Timberwolves, was very, very shallow. I would say now that he is on the New York Knicks, I see a lot more upside just because the Knicks fan base is a lot stronger, and the hype that can be built up for a player who plays a good season with the Knicks, can be very magnified compared to playing in a small town like Minnesota. I think regardless of what Karl-Anthony Towns was doing in Minnesota, being an all-star, being one of the best big men in the league, he was just simply not getting recognition. But now that he's on the Knicks, I believe if he has a playoff run, if he has another season similar to what he had in Minnesota as he continues to find his role, I think he's going to get a lot more hype and media attention than he was getting before. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns, you can look at some of his, I would say staple rookie cards. For example, his Prism rookie card. This card's a fairly inexpensive card. You can get some grades for around that $10 to $15 range. There's some $10, comps over here. If we look at similarly what happened to the last star that we saw in Brunson, or in New York, which is Jaylen Brunson, you can see how his cards since last season, he had one great season and one great playoff run. Of course, he is a guard. He's a little bit younger, 2018 draft class. But we can see what happened to his sports card market from, one big year for the New York Knicks. You see a whole fan base gets behind him, and his cards absolutely skyrocketed last season. I mean, this card right here, when he was in Dallas, his National Treasures PSA 9 was, $1,000 to $2,000 card. When he joined the Knicks, this card was $2,000. He had one great year, and it's tripled in price. Of course, he had a great year. They had a good playoff run. But in general, we are seeing a lot of hype around New York Knicks athletes. Of course, we can date it back to Jeremy Lin and that kind of era, but we can see that a lot of these players have seen great hype from being in New York. And I think Karl-Anthony Towns being a star in New York has a lot of upside. If we even look at Jaylen Brunson and where his market's gotten to with his Nebula Prism selling for almost $100,000 on Golden Auctions. His market's come such a long way in just a year. And I think, I'm not saying we're going to see the same exact thing with Karl-Anthony Towns, but I do see that upside in terms of if he continues to play like a star, I believe that we could see, a big increase in his card market. Now, without further ado, we're going to hop right into the next pick. This is someone who I believe's cards are just wickedly underpriced right now. If we look at Giannis, I'm looking at his second-year Prism rookie card because, as we saw what happened during, Giannis's championship run and when he was, on top of the league, you could say, his first year cards got super, super expensive because his 2018 or 2013, there were not many, different parallels out there. There weren't many different products that were releasing. So his cards in general are quite rare in terms of the higher end cards, and the higher end cards have gotten really expensive. And so a lot of people are looking towards Giannis' second year cards. And I think when Giannis is in the spotlight again, whether it's in Milwaukee or if he cannot figure out how to win there, I believe at some point he's going to request a trade. He clearly does not like losing. So we can see some of these cards of his that were $100 plus cards that are now selling for $10. And I see a lot of upside. I'm not saying it could go exactly back to 100, but I see that type of potential in Giannis' second year cards if he's in the spotlight again and his first year cards become out of the price point for a lot of average investors. Right now, not many people are looking towards his second year cards because his first year cards, his rookie cards, are fairly inexpensive right now. And I just think it's going to take him being in a new situation or the Bucks figuring things out. But I think in general, I'm very confident in Giannis. he obviously hasn't had, he's been injured the past couple postseasons. He hasn't had a full postseason of full health, I believe, since they won that championship in 2021. So I just think it's going to take some health and some luck and, potentially a new situation. But I think Giannis's cards are currently sitting very, very cheap. And I think the upside's a lot greater than the downside. So without further ado, let's hop right into the next pick, and that is none other than Kevin Durant's 2006 Fleer rookie card. I think a lot of Kevin Durant's rookie cards have gotten way too affordable. And I think Kevin Durant's one of the biggest buys in the hobby right now just because of the last couple of years being a little bit rough for him in terms of winning. They haven't made a true playoff push, since that Brooklyn Nets team that lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. And a lot of his, key rookie cards, I wouldn't call his Topps McDonald's a key rookie card, but for a Kevin Durant rookie card with a fairly low pop comparatively to his other cards, being around that $10 price point in a PSA 9, I think that's a good buy-in point. Some of his Topps cards you could even get around that price point as well. The white border, the only reason I don't like it so much is because the pop count's just incredibly high, but you can get some of his iconic rookie cards for around that $10 price point for the PSA 8, as you can see here. But Kevin Durant is just a player who I think right now has kind of got to that underappreciated level in the sports card hobby. If you look at where a lot of other players in his caliber are priced compared to where he is priced, I see a lot of upside. I'm not saying the Suns are going to figure it out this season, but I think for now, him going into the next couple years, potentially going into retirement years from then, I think until then, we're going to see some good price action in Kevin Durant's market eventually. I think he will be relevant again in some sort of fashion, and he still hasn't really lost a step. He still looks like his prime Kevin Durant. Of course, time will catch up to him at some point, but I think, I'm fairly confident that buying into some of his key rookie cards for around that $10 price point is a really good option, because players of his caliber, you can't get their top rookie cards and decent grades for that $10 price point. So it definitely sounds like a buy. Now, next up on this list, we're going to talk about Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy, he's had a very down year. The Niners have been super injured this year. Purdy's individual stats still look good. I think he's obviously still, I believe, the Niners' future quarterback. And his cards have come down a lot. This whole season, his cards have been coming down, becoming pretty affordable. And I think this could be a great buying opportunity for next season and the next couple years. We don't really have much clarity as to what's going to happen with this Niners team. But I do think Brock Purdy is the face of the franchise. And I think he's going to have a solid career, at least a solid next couple of years with weapons around him. This card right here, like some of these cards have come down roughly 70% this season. This card had a couple sales at $40 around the beginning of the year, and they're currently down to around that $10 to $15 price point. I really like where they're currently at. I think there's good upside in Brock Purdy's market, and I think his cards being down over 20% over the last 90 days is providing a good buying opportunity to hold into next year and the next couple of years. So I definitely like what I'm seeing in Brock Purdy's market. I think the dip is a little bit too much compared to what it should have been. I think he did have a lot of expectation coming into the year, of course, coming off of that Super Bowl appearance. But I think he'll be back to where he is. I think his team just needs to heal up for next year. And I think that's really the main issue. So without further ado, let's hop right into the next pick. We got none other than Sam Darnold. I know Sam Darnold's probably not one you guys thought I would be mentioning. But as I'm recording this, the Vikings are 10-2. And Sam Darnold's looking to be leading one of the best teams in the NFL. I know a lot of people, when J.J. McCarthy went down, were nervous that, the Viking season could be over. But, it was, if at all, better for them, I feel like. If we look at what Sam Darnold's been able to do to lead this team, of course, there's many other weapons on that team that you can credit some to. But, Sam Darnold and the Vikings, the NFC is pretty wide open. You got the Lions, kind of leading charge. But I think the Vikings are going to be a team to look out for in the NFC. And if they are able to do anything in the playoffs and make an NFC championship run, If you look at some of these fairly low pop prisms from Sam Darnold that are around that $5 to $10 price range, I see great upside in his market. I think this could be a flipping opportunity if they're able to do something in the playoffs. I guess time will tell, but I think it's a fairly low risk, high reward investment because his cards haven't really reacted the way I feel like they should have this season. And I think it could just be a delay. And if they're able to do anything in the playoffs, I think that's really what people are waiting for. Is if they are able to do anything in the playoffs, I could see these cards climbing back up. So I think Darnold's a good, risk to reward ratio. I see great rewards, based on his current prices not reacting too much. And I don't see too much risk because I think after this season, we're going to have a lot of people eyeing Sam Darnold's cards during the offseason. And if you can get some of his solid cards for around that $10 price point, I think you'll do pretty well with them. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. If you guys are enjoying this type of content, 5 best sports cards under $10, 5 best sports cards under $100, or potentially some budget videos, let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.